If you are 70, 80 years old, walking less. Doing these 7 things to living 100. Hey there, welcome. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what it truly takes to live to 100? I mean, really live. Not just go through the motions, but enjoy every single day, feel healthy and remain active in mind and body. Most of us tend to think that living longer means doing more. Walk more, exercise more, do more of everything, right? But what if I told you that walking less could actually help you live longer and better? Sounds crazy, right? But trust me, it's true. As we grow older, the approach to staying healthy and thriving changes. The secret to a long, vibrant life isn't just about how many steps you take each day or how much you work out. It's about being smarter with your energy, your time, and your focus. In this video, we're diving deep into 7 key things you can start doing today that don't involve walking more or running a marathon to boost your chances of living a long, healthy life. These aren't just quick fixes. They're habits that can reshape your day-to-day, giving you more energy, peace of mind, and the joy that comes with truly living. I'm talking about creating a life that doesn't just add years to your life, but adds life to your years. Whether you're in your 70s, 80s, or even 90s, it's never too late to start making small changes that could set you on the path to a century of vitality. So, if you're ready to break free from the typical aging routine and start living your best, longest life, keep watching. These 7 tips might just change everything for you. Let's get started. Part 1. Setting the stage for longevity. All right, let's start by setting the stage for what true longevity means. Living a long life is a goal many of us share. But when you really think about it, how do we define a long life? Is it just about the number of birthdays we celebrate, or is there more to it? For most people, longevity is often measured by how many years we live. But what about the quality of those years? The reality is, adding more years to your life is only half the story. The real goal is to add more life to those years. Imagine reaching 100, not just feeling like you're ticking off days, but genuinely thriving, enjoying your health, your mind, your connections, and your passions. It's not about how many candles are on the cake. It's about the joy and vitality that come with each passing year. Now, you might think, okay, but genetics play a huge role in all of this, right? And yes, genetics do matter. Some people are naturally predisposed to living longer due to family history or lucky DNA. But here's the big takeaway. Lifestyle choices matter just as much, if not more. Research consistently shows that where we live, how we eat, the way we manage stress, and how we engage with the world around us have an enormous impact on our longevity. Take, for example, the so-called blue zones, areas around the world where people live the longest, happiest lives. These places include Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, and Costa Rica's Nicoya Peninsula. And you know what they have in common. It's not just that the people there have good genes. It's the daily choices they make, the routines they follow, and the mindset they carry. Now, let's be honest. Most of us don't live in one of these blue zones, and we don't have a magical fountain of youth to dip into. But the good news is, you don't have to be in one of these special places to live a long and fulfilling life. Small changes in your habits can set you on the right path, regardless of where you live or where you came from. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today. The power of small, intentional choices that can make all the difference. So let's start with the first one. Part 2. Why walking less might be beneficial for longevity. You probably heard it a million times. You've got to walk 10,000 steps a day to stay healthy. But here's the truth. Walking more might not always be the answer to living longer. Yes, it's great to get moving, but let's take a moment to rethink this idea that more walking equals more years. I know, it sounds a little counterintuitive, doesn't it? But hang with me for a second, because there's a deeper truth here that most people miss. The problem is, we've been taught to think that we have to constantly be active in order to stay healthy. The more you walk, the better your body will be, right? Well, maybe. But as we age, our bodies need more than just walking. They need a balance between movement and rest. In fact, over-exercising or pushing your body to do more than it can handle can actually increase your risk of injury, stress your joints, and even leave you feeling worn out. I'm sure you've seen people in their 70s or 80s who've been walking every day but seem fatigued, or even worse, have hurt themselves from too much strain. That's because our bodies change with age, and our needs change too. It's important to listen to your body, and as we get older, our bodies actually crave more recovery time than constant movement. This is where the idea of walking less comes into play. You don't have to do miles of walking every day to live a long life. Instead, focus on making your movements intentional and functional. Take it slow. Take it easy. Instead of pushing yourself to walk around the block, why not try gentle stretching or Tai Chi? These activities improve balance, flexibility, and strength, without putting unnecessary stress on your joints. It's about smart movement, not just activity for the sake of activity. What's also important here is that walking less and resting more actually supports mental clarity and emotional well-being, which are just as important as physical health. When we constantly push ourselves physically, it can increase stress levels, which, as we know, is not good for longevity. Proper rest, helps our mind stay sharp, our mood stay positive, and our immune system stay strong. And here's the cool part. Walking less doesn't mean you're doing less to improve your life. It means you're being smarter about your energy. You're embracing the power of rest, recovery, and intentional movement. That's the secret to feeling good well into your 100s. So, next time someone tells you to hit 10,000 steps, remember this. It's not about how much you walk, it's about how well you take care of your body. And sometimes, less really is more. Part 3. The first key habit: stay socially active. Now that we've talked about walking less, let's dive into the first real key to living a long, healthy life: staying socially active. I get it. When you reach a certain age, it can be easy to isolate yourself. Maybe your friends have moved away, or perhaps you just don't feel like dealing with people anymore. But here's the truth. Staying socially connected isn't just about having fun or filling time. It's absolutely essential for your longevity. There's a fascinating study called the Harvard Study of Adult Development, which has been tracking the lives of hundreds of people for over 80 years. One of the key findings? The quality of your relationships, how connected you feel to others, directly impacts your health and lifespan. In fact, researchers found that people with strong social ties live longer, healthier lives, while those who are isolated tend to suffer from depression, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. But let's get real for a moment. Building and maintaining friendships as we age can be hard. It requires effort, time, and sometimes stepping out of our comfort zones. So how do we keep ourselves socially active? It doesn't mean you have to be the life of the party. It's more about quality over quantity. Whether it's joining a book club, volunteering, or simply reaching out to old friends or family members, making small efforts to stay connected can make a world of difference. Personally, I've seen how having a tight-knit group of friends or being part of a community can transform someone's life. I've met elderly people who are 80, 90 years old and still thriving because they prioritize their relationships. They're involved in local community projects, they meet for lunch, they travel together. These connections keep them mentally sharp, emotionally healthy, and full of life. If you're in your 70s, 80s, or even older, don't underestimate the power of human connection. It's not just about being surrounded by people. It's about meaningful relationships that provide emotional support, joy, and a sense of belonging. And remember, it's never too late to make new friends. So, if you've been thinking about calling up an old buddy or joining a local group, now is the perfect time to take that step. Part 4. The second key habit: stay mentally engaged. Okay, so let's move on to the second habit that plays a huge role in living a long and fulfilling life: staying mentally engaged. As we age, it's easy to fall into the trap of, "I've learned all I need to know." You've lived through decades of experiences and knowledge, but the truth is, Your brain is like any other muscle. It needs exercise, or it will start to weaken over time. In fact, research shows that people who continue to challenge their brains, whether it's by learning new things, solving puzzles, or even picking up new hobbies, are much more likely to remain mentally sharp well into their later years. The key here is that mental activity helps stave off cognitive decline. Think about it. When you're engaged in something that requires concentration, creativity, or learning, you're essentially giving your brain a workout. Activities like reading, writing, playing memory games, or learning a new language are all fantastic ways to keep your mind sharp. And it doesn't have to be something intense. Start small. Maybe it's reading a chapter of a book each day or doing a crossword puzzle every morning. Every little bit counts. I personally know several elderly people who continue to thrive mentally by engaging in hobbies like painting, playing chess, or taking up knitting. They keep their minds active, and in doing so, they keep themselves sharp, curious, and open to the world around them. Mental engagement isn't just about avoiding Alzheimer's or dementia. It's about living fully, even as you age. Also, don't be afraid of technology. It can be a huge asset to your mental well-being. Learning to use smartphones, tablets, or computers can keep you connected with the world, help you learn new skills, and even allow you to participate in online learning or social groups. There's no limit to what you can learn or do, even at 80 or 90. So my advice? Don't slow down mentally. Embrace new challenges, explore new interests, and always stay curious. Your mind is your greatest asset. Keep it sharp, keep it engaged, and watch how much more you can enjoy your life. Part 5. The third key habit. Nourish your body with the right foods. Now, let's talk about food. Specifically, how the food you eat can help you live longer and healthier. And no, it's not about dieting or cutting out all the fun foods. It's about making smarter choices that nourish your body and fuel your longevity. You've probably heard about the Mediterranean diet. You know, the one that's full of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats like olive oil, and lean proteins like fish. Well, guess what? This diet has been linked to better heart health, improved brain function, and a longer life. In fact, many of the longest living populations in the world follow some form of this diet. The secret isn't just about eating healthy foods, it's about eating nourishing foods that support your body's needs as you age. The good news is, you don't have to completely overhaul your diet overnight. Start small. Focus on whole, natural foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, and lean meats. Cut back on processed foods, sugary snacks, and foods high in unhealthy fats. But here's something even more important to consider. Moderation. As we age, our metabolism slows down. We don't need as many calories, but we still need all the essential nutrients. It's all about making sure that the food you eat is nutrient-dense, rather than just calorie-dense. A little mindful eating can go a long way. Taking the time to savor your meals, enjoy the textures and flavors, and eat slowly will not only help your digestion, but will also make eating more enjoyable. In my experience, I've met many older adults who attribute their longevity to eating plant-based meals most of the time, but also indulging in treats in moderation. It's about finding a balance that works for you. Part 6. The fourth key habit. Embrace purpose and passion. We're finally getting to one of the most important keys to living a long and meaningful life, having a sense of purpose. As we get older, it can be easy to feel like the work part of life is over. But having purpose, something that drives you, that you care about deeply, is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. I'm not talking about having a job or a career, but about having something you love doing, something that brings you joy, something that fills you with passion. Whether it's gardening, painting, volunteering, or mentoring others, having a passion gives you a reason to get up every morning. It fuels your spirit, keeps you engaged with life, and provides a sense of fulfillment that is irreplaceable. There's a famous study on people who live in blue zones, and the one thing they all have in common: they have a deep sense of purpose. It could be taking care of their families, participating in community activities, or continuing to follow a lifelong passion. When you have a purpose, you have a reason to keep going, a reason to stay active, to keep learning, and to keep loving life. If you don't already have something that you feel passionate about, now is the time to explore. Ask yourself, what could I do for hours without getting bored? What lights me up inside? It's never too late to find your passion, and it's one of the most powerful things you can do to live longer. Part 7. The fifth key habit. Stay physically active. Less walking, more variety. All right, we've touched on some powerful habits so far, but now let's get into physical activity. Yes, it's still important to move your body, but here's the twist. You don't have to walk endlessly to stay healthy. In fact, as we've talked about earlier, walking less can be a good thing, but that doesn't mean you stop moving entirely. What really matters is variety. The key to maintaining strength, flexibility, and endurance as we age is to incorporate a mix of activities into our routine. Think of it this way. Your body craves more than just walking. It needs strength training, balance exercises, flexibility work, and even aerobic activities like swimming, biking, or dancing. These types of exercises keep your muscles strong, improve your posture, and prevent falls, something that becomes a real concern as we get older. Here's the thing. It's not just about how much you walk. It's about creating functional movement that supports your day-to-day life. For example, doing Tai Chi or yoga can work wonders for your balance and flexibility. These low-impact exercises strengthen your core and help prevent injuries without putting undue stress on your joints. And don't forget about strength training. Now I know you might be thinking, I'm not looking to become a bodybuilder, but don't let that scare you. Strength training doesn't mean lifting heavy weights at the gym. It can be as simple as using resistance bands, doing bodyweight exercises like squats or lunges, or even using light dumbbells. These exercises help maintain muscle mass, which naturally declines with age. Keeping your muscles strong is essential for mobility and overall health. I've seen many older adults transform their lives by adding variety to their physical routine. Whether it's a gentle walk, swimming a few laps, or doing a 20-minute strength training workout, mixing it up is the secret to staying physically active for the long haul. So remember, keep moving, but keep it interesting. Don't just walk. Find a variety of activities that work for you and enjoy the process. That's the key to staying strong and healthy well into your later years. Part 8. The sixth key habit. Prioritize sleep. Let's move on to something that is so often overlooked, sleep. As we age, we can start to think of sleep as less important, or even something we feel we're too old to need. But in reality, sleep is one of the most important elements for longevity, and I can't stress this enough. If you're not prioritizing sleep, you're missing out on one of the most powerful tools for living a longer, healthier life. I've spoken with many older adults who think that since they don't need as much sleep as they did in their younger years, they can get by on just a few hours a night. But research shows that sleep quality, not just quantity, plays a critical role in maintaining health. When we sleep, our bodies heal, our minds recharge, and our immune systems are strengthened. And here's a big one. Sleep actually helps regulate hormones, improve memory, and protect against diseases like heart disease and diabetes. Now I know, sleep can be tricky for older adults. Changes in our sleep patterns are normal as we age, but that doesn't mean we have to accept bad sleep as the new normal. There are things we can do to improve sleep hygiene. Try going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Avoid caffeine or heavy meals right before bed. And yes, I know the temptation is real, but try not to use your phone or watch TV in bed. These habits can disrupt your sleep cycles. Something as simple as a consistent bedtime routine can make a huge difference. Perhaps take a warm bath before bed, do some light reading, or practice deep breathing exercises to help you wind down. Your body craves routine, and once it learns to associate certain activities with sleep, you'll start falling asleep faster and sleeping more deeply. Personally, I've noticed that when I prioritize sleep, especially quality sleep, everything improves. My energy levels are higher, my mood is better, and I'm more focused during the day. So trust me, sleep isn't something to skip or take lightly, no matter what age you are. Takeaway: sleep isn't just a luxury, it's essential. Make it a priority to get the rest you deserve, and watch how it transforms your life. Part 9. The 7th key habit: manage stress and practice gratitude. Let's talk about stress. We all know it's bad for us, but when it comes to aging and longevity, the impact of chronic stress is even more damaging than we realize. In today's fast-paced world, stress is often seen as a normal part of life. But prolonged stress, especially when it's left unchecked, has a direct negative impact on your health. It can raise your blood pressure, affect your sleep, damage your heart, and even shorten your lifespan. So, how do we manage it? How do we reduce stress and improve our quality of life? One of the most powerful ways to counter stress is practicing gratitude. Yes, it sounds simple, but the act of acknowledging and appreciating the good things in your life can have a huge impact on your overall well-being. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's stressing you out to what you already have, creating a positive feedback loop that can lower stress levels and even improve your immune system. Research shows that people who regularly practice gratitude are less likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, and chronic pain. It's all about retraining your brain to focus on the positives instead of dwelling on the negatives. And here's the beautiful thing: it doesn't take much to practice gratitude. Simply taking a moment each day to reflect on the things you're grateful for, whether it's family, health, or even small moments of joy, can create a profound sense of calm. Now, don't get me wrong. Life can throw curveballs, and stress will always be a part of the human experience. But managing stress and finding ways to release it, whether it's through deep breathing, mindfulness, yoga, or gratitude, is one of the most powerful things you can do for your health as you age. And don't forget about mindfulness practices, such as meditation or deep breathing exercises. These can help you stay grounded and present in the moment, reducing the negative impact of stress on your body and mind. Practicing mindfulness has been shown to improve sleep, reduce anxiety, and boost mental clarity. So, next time stress tries to take over, take a step back. Practice gratitude, take a deep breath, and focus on the positive. It's one of the simplest yet most effective habits for increasing longevity. Part 10. Final reflection: what it means to live to 100. Okay, we've covered a lot, right? But before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on what it actually means to live to 100. When you think about living a century, it's not just about the physical aspects, how well your body holds up, or how many steps you take each day. Longevity is about living fully, regardless of your age. It's about maintaining a positive outlook, staying curious, and embracing each day with a sense of purpose. As you get older, life can become richer and more meaningful. You've accumulated wisdom, you've experienced love, loss, success, and failure. And with that comes a unique opportunity to enjoy life in a deeper, more fulfilling way. Living to 100 isn't about a number. It's about the quality of the years you have. It's about creating a life that's full of purpose, joy, and love. And it's never too late to start. Whether you're 70, 80, or even 90, you can make small changes today that will impact your future in ways you never imagined. So, my challenge to you is this: start today. Start with one of the habits we've talked about. Whether it's staying socially active, practicing gratitude, eating better, or embracing variety in your physical activity. Each step you take brings you closer to a life that's not just about survival, but thriving, full of energy, passion, and purpose. Conclusion: well, here we are at the end of this journey, and I have to say, I'm incredibly excited for you. You now know the key habits, the simple yet powerful steps that can not only help you live longer, but more importantly, help you live better. But here's the thing: longevity isn't a one-size-fits-all equation. There's no magic pill, no perfect formula. It's about the small, everyday choices you make, the habits you develop, and the mindset you choose to carry with you every single day. Whether it's deciding to stay socially active, prioritizing sleep, moving your body with purpose, or practicing gratitude, these habits will give you the tools you need to live a long, fulfilling life, no matter what age you are. I know that change can seem intimidating at first, but if there's one thing I've learned, it's that starting small makes all the difference. Don't worry about getting everything perfect right away. Just pick one habit to work on and start building from there. You'll be amazed at how these little changes compound over time, leading to a life full of vitality and joy. So I challenge you, yes you, to take action today. Pick something from this list that resonates with you and start right now. Whether it's reconnecting with an old friend, adding a few minutes of stretching to your day, or starting a gratitude journal, the first step is the most important one. And here's a little secret. You're never too old to start living your best life. It's not about the number of years. It's about the way you choose to live those years. And as long as you're breathing, you have the power to shape your future. I truly believe that with these habits, you can live a full, vibrant life that goes beyond just adding years. So don't wait for tomorrow. Start today. And remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. A little bit of effort, day after day, leads to a lifetime of fulfillment. Thank you so much for watching. If you found these tips helpful, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Whether you're in your 70s, 80s, or beyond, I'd love to know which of these habits you're going to start incorporating into your life. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips on living your best life at any age. Here's to living a life full of joy, purpose, and health for the next 100 years. Stay amazing, and I'll see you in the next video.